In the early morning hours of August 21st, 1911, a peculiar silence hung over the Louvre Museum in Paris. The echoes of footsteps on marble floors and the soft murmur of conversations were absent. The sun's muted light seeped through the tall windows, casting a pale glow over the vast halls filled with art that spanned centuries. The city outside continued its morning bustle, unaware that the heart of the Louvre's collection had just been dealt a blow so profound it would ripple through history. The painting known as the Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci's enigmatic portrait that had captivated the world for centuries, had vanished. It was not merely missing, it had disappeared as if it had never been there at all, leaving behind nothing but the echoes of its absence. The theft was discovered by a young curator named Lucien Moreau. Lucien was a man of modest stature, with ink-stained fingers and an ever-present frown. He had been working late into the night, cataloging new acquisitions and ensuring the museum's inventory was up to date. The task had been tedious, but necessary. Yet as he turned a corner and walked toward the Salle des États, the gallery that housed the Mona Lisa, a strange unease settled in his chest. Lucien's heart quickened as he reached the room. The walls were still adorned with their elaborate gilt frames and muted portraits, but there was an unsettling emptiness. He stepped forward, his eyes scanning the space where Da Vinci's masterpiece should have been. The ornate frame that once cradled the iconic face was there, cold and hollow. A sharp gasp escaped him as he reached out to touch the frame, as though trying to confirm what his mind could not accept. "Mon Dieu," he whispered, voice quivering, "it's gone." The room began to fill with the noise of staff members who had heard Lucien's outcry. An assistant named Antoine arrived first, a bewildered look on his face. "Lucien, what is it?" he stammered, following the curator's gaze. His eyes widened as he understood the gravity of the situation. The Mona Lisa had been stolen. The museum's director, Georges Delacroix, was summoned within minutes. He stormed into the gallery, his usually composed demeanor shattered. He was a man who could make the most difficult decisions with a steely calm, but now even he seemed to be at a loss. "What in God's name is happening here?" he bellowed. "How could this have happened? The museum is locked down like a fortress." Lucien looked up at Delacroix, his face pale and his voice barely a whisper. "There were no signs of forced entry, sir." The lock on the door was intact, and the frame shows no signs of tampering. It's as if it vanished. Delacroix's eyes darted around the room. He leaned in close, his breath shallow. "Someone must know something. Search every corner of this building. The entire staff must be questioned, and make sure to secure the perimeter. No one leaves until we find out who took it." In the days that followed, the news of the Mona Lisa's disappearance spread like wildfire. The streets of Paris were consumed by the mysterious heist. Posters with the familiar image of the painting were plastered across the city, with bold letters declaring, "La Joconde disparue," the missing Mona Lisa. Hundreds of detectives and police officers scoured the city, interrogating museum staff, investigating potential leads. The trail, however, was as cold as the marble halls of the Louvre. No fingerprints were found at the scene, and the only clue left behind was a cryptic note, discovered on the floor beneath the empty frame. The note read simply, "The face of a queen belongs to no one, yet to all." The phrase confounded everyone, especially the experts in history and art who were consulted. Was it a riddle? A message to the art world? The queen perhaps referred to Lisa Gherardini, the woman believed to be the subject of Da Vinci's portrait. But why make such a claim? And who would want to claim her as their own? Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, in the bustling city of New York, an ambitious art dealer named Marcus Holloway read about the theft in the morning paper. Marcus was not new to the world of stolen art. He had made a name for himself by trading in rare and illicit pieces, using contacts in Europe and the Americas. But the Mona Lisa was different. This was a prize that could make or break a reputation. Marcus leaned back in his chair, eyes narrowing as he read the article's descriptions of the theft. The note in particular intrigued him. It was an enigma wrapped in a riddle, a clue that spoke of mystery, power, and wealth. If anyone could crack it, he would. In the days that turned into weeks, the search continued. Rumors began to spread about potential suspects: a disgruntled artist who had once been rejected by the Louvre, a collector with deep pockets and a thirst for prestige, and even whispers of a secret society. The police had nothing to go on but the riddle in a city full of speculation. 1 month later, a breakthrough came when a new lead surfaced. A man named Vincenzo De Luca, an Italian art expert, was called in by the French authorities after a tip from an anonymous source. Vincenzo had been studying Da Vinci's work for years, and he had come across certain cryptic patterns and messages embedded in some of the artist's lesser-known sketches. As he examined the note left at the scene, he whispered to himself, "The face of a queen belongs to no one, yet to all." A queen, not of this world. Suddenly, a thought struck him. He remembered an old tale of a hidden manuscript containing Da Vinci's reflections on art, one that spoke of how the spirit of his paintings lived in the world, free from ownership. If this manuscript was real, it might reveal a secret that would point to the painting's current location. Vincenzo raced to the archives of the Louvre, poring over old documents and hidden journals that were said to have belonged to Da Vinci himself. After hours of searching, he found a faded letter sealed with an emblem that resembled the outline of the Mona Lisa. The letter was a key to understanding the artist's true intentions behind his masterpiece, a clue that could unravel the theft. He read the letter aloud. "My portrait is a reflection of humanity, not of ownership. To guard her is to guard the secrets of creation." A sudden chill ran down Vincenzo's spine as he deciphered the hidden meaning. The Mona Lisa had not been stolen to be sold or displayed for personal glory. It had been taken to preserve its meaning, to keep it hidden from those who sought to claim ownership. Meanwhile, Marcus Holloway's pursuit for the painting took him to an underground auction in Venice. There Marcus saw it, a piece of artwork wrapped in fine cloth, its shape unmistakable. His pulse quickened as he stepped closer, the room around him seeming to blur in a whirl of tension. "Is it true?" he whispered, eyes locked on the fabric. Before he could move forward, a voice called out behind him, "Mr. Holloway, I believe you've come to the wrong place." Turning, Marcus found himself face to face with Vincenzo, whose expression was one of warning. The room seemed to go quiet as their eyes met, each man realizing that the pursuit of the Mona Lisa had become more than a matter of wealth or fame. It was a battle over the very soul of art. "Step away," Vincenzo said, his voice cold and resolute. "It's not for sale." The tension in the room thickened like a storm cloud. The lights flickered as if in response to the energy between them. Marcus hesitated, his mind racing through possibilities. If you like it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to more videos.